All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. Sorry if there's a little bit of background noise, house is getting cleaned, but I wanted to review the AI sector. I'm gonna start with SoundHound, gonna go into NVDA next. I wanna take a look at Palantir and then hopefully BBAI. Maybe even a couple of the other little ones if time permits. All right, so very quickly, there is still about 50 minutes of live trading, so you're gonna see the percents move, you're gonna see the candles move. You know I like the close of the market way more, but just a little busy on my side this afternoon, so I had to get these out a little early. All right, so listen, SoundHound, I know it's easy to focus on the gap up. I know it's easy to focus that we're closer to $4 than obviously anything lower. And I know it's easy to focus on the green day, all right? I am looking at the volume, all right? If you've watched my last two videos, this down here, it has been the most important thing to me, all right? And I mean, let alone the fact that we've gone down the last 3 days, we couldn't even hit Friday's volume, right? So 80 million is a big number. That's a really, really big number, especially when you look at a stock that's barely ever gotten to 80 million. It's actually only done it one other day before these other three, right? I'm trying to click into it. I can't. You get the point, right? So believe me when I say these days, in terms of SoundHound as a whole, amazing, amazing, amazing. All right? As you look at them, for 3 individual days, I'm not liking the volume, all right? And that's kind of the story here. NVIDIA, listen to me. Earnings are dangerous. I don't care if you're the #1 company in the world or you're somewhere in the middle or you're in the penny stock world, all right? Earnings are scary, and that will be the same theme even for a juggernaut like NVIDIA, all right? And then from there, Palantir, the rest, honestly, I don't even know what those charts look like. So those will be a little bit fresh, all right? So I'm excited to talk about these. But before we go any further, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you share this video. But believe me, just being here, giving me your time, oh man, I am so grateful for it all right? So SoundHound, again, there is a lot of good that has come from these last few days, all right? When an important company, when a giant investment firm, when these big established names can connect themselves with an up and coming, with a I still need to prove myself stock like SoundHound, you're gonna see craziness like this, all right? So big volume, I mean a lot of good, like I said, for just kind of establishing SoundHound, all right? For me, as the swing trader, you know, I'm not a day trader, right? But you can essentially call me one. That's not going to offend me, right? For me, the volume has been and will continue to be the day-to-day story here, all right? So when you have a monster 300 million share day and then you drop 60% down to basically 100 something, look, I'm expecting really bad things, and that's actually not what happened on Friday. Friday actually gave us a green day. It was a doji, and you know dojis in my world don't count, right? But yeah, I'm surprised to see a 60% drop and a green day. Lo and behold, look what happens. I mean, I don't know the exact number, so this is, let's just round to 125. This is, look, I mean 180 is 160, so it's not quite a 50% drop. It looks like maybe we dropped like 30% if I'm gonna rough the numbers, right? I am surprised to do yet another 30% drop, but actually a green day, all right? So yeah, this is it echoes the strength I think of the news, again, I zoomed out in the beginning. I don't know if you saw it or not, but we have only had one day remotely close. This was a 95 million share day. You can see it volume right there. This was back in February of last year, basically a year from now, actually, a year ago, not a year from now, a year ago. That was the only day remotely close to this 80 million that I'm kind of upset about, right? So believe me, historically monster, right? But yeah, when your volume goes down like this, I will be honest, I expect price to go down. So to me, listen, I'm seeing a doji, a doji, a doji. I still have not confirmed the 200 moving average is broken. I haven't. To me, I obviously see the gap up, right? But I need a good candle. I'm not asking for a lot, right? I'm just asking for a good candle. The one good thing I kept echoing, and I mean, obviously we're seeing it now. Look, the 8 moving average is rapidly coming up, right? It is rapidly coming up. And if this was to come down, the 8 should be the thing that catches it well before the 200. So though I'm still not technically, like in my world, I'm not confirmed. I don't believe that this 200 is broken just yet. Normally when I say that, there's this implied, I think it's going to kind of come back down to it. I really don't think that's going to happen. I do believe the 8's going to catch it. I do believe in the next coming days, the 20 should also rapidly go up and hopefully also golden cross that 200. And again, maybe the 8 slips, hopefully the 20 catches it. I think there are things to think about well before we talk about the 200 again, all right? But I'm going to say it one more time. 316 is still a very real possibility. We did not break $4. Obviously, there was a point today where someone thought, dude, we were at a $4.35 high, right? I mean, somebody thought we were smashing this $4 line by nearly 10%, right? No. Lo and behold, we're still at 390. We have 45 minutes left. What does this thing look like? Oh, this is an important moment. All right, if this can get over 395, 394, 395, maybe we'll have a shot at $4. Right now, we're still battling these two, right? So it's either going to be around 394, 395, or if we slip below 389, no, that's 387. I'm kind of guessing where it's going to go out. Let's just do 380, 387, where I'm clicking. If we lose that, there's a decent shot that this actually comes down to 383. So do I think we're going to get to 4 today? I don't know. The RSI is kind of peaking. Let me just look at the minute real quick. Nah, there's too many lines. I think there's a shot at 391-ish. Maybe that 395. Nonetheless, I don't think we're breaking 4 today, all right? So again, I'm looking at doji. I still believe 316 is an option. Obviously, the goal is break 4 and head towards 5, right? We didn't even hit 450. I would have drawn a line right here. I'm not going to draw the line. I still like that channel as is. But yeah, I need a little bit more. I do. I mean, I'm not really looking at the weekly too much. This is still very much day to day, right? And obviously, if we're going to break the 50 like that by Friday, I know I said this on the last video, we either need to come up here towards that 460, or by Friday, we're coming down at 316. I think it's one of the two. Maybe we'll doji at 4. Maybe we'll stay here the rest of the couple days. But I think NVIDIA earnings tomorrow is probably going to be the thing that propels this one way or the other. And I think that's a pretty good segue to the next one. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I'm telling you, volume is still my thing. I'm going to say it one more time. All right. Because let's end it with this. I know I killed my transition, but I need 120 million shares. Let's do 121 million shares. In a roughly 7-hour trading day, we need to be pushing 17 million shares an hour. If we're nowhere near that tomorrow, again, I gotta be worried. It's hard for me to believe it doesn't break volume, yesterday's volume, last candle's volume, and keep going up. That's a hard phenomenon to hold, in my opinion, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Make sure you listen to NVIDIA, all right? Because it will dictate SoundHound for sure. All right, we're coming into NVIDIA, all right? And I mean, I haven't covered NVIDIA in such a long time. I remember talking about this gap up. I remember saying we were never going to go back down there. We obviously didn't, and we kept going. Listen, all-time highs is a beautiful thing. All right, there are no resistances, and that's what no resistances look like. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people are saying it's overvalued, this and that, this and that. Look, end of the day, NVIDIA getting to 700 made a lot of sense. It did, all right? What matters now is actually less about the 8 and the 20. It's less about the MACD. It's less about the RSI. It's actually less about the volume. NVIDIA earnings, I'm going to say it one more time, NVIDIA earnings, okay? If you watch my videos, I always say earnings scare me, okay? I am not here pretending to be this buy the fear kind of trader. No, that's not who I am. I like to trade in good. I like to sit in the sidelines in bad, all right? Earnings are scary. Earnings can do crazy, crazy things. Earnings can gap a stock up and run it. All right. Obviously, this single one didn't, but you get my point. This thing had other earnings since then. Or earnings can gap you down and do bad. Listen, NVIDIA has obviously done some amazing stuff. Good earnings, good guidance, good guidance. Believe me, I know that. The simplest thing is Donkey Kong, DKNG, excuse me. Look, DraftKings has had, I want to say, 4 consecutive back-to-back market earning beats. All right. I'm not saying I like the earnings. I'm saying that DraftKings was able to exceed market expectations. It really didn't happen on this last earnings. All right. I don't know if it was a mix of the buyout that they did. They acquired someone. I don't know. Regardless, this isn't about Donkey Kong. This is about NVIDIA. And the point to me is, look, this little slip doesn't make me believe the earnings are going to be bad. All right. If this thing was still going up, it wouldn't make me believe the earnings were going to be good. Earnings are a gamble in my world. All right. Earnings will either take this well beyond $750 to the blue skies of who knows, or we might be coming to 600. I maybe 630 ends up holding it. I think we come to 600 if it's bad earnings. I don't think there's much of an in-between. I think we lose the 20 and make our way down towards the 50, or we destroy all-time highs and we do what this thing knows how to do. Because again, just look at this, right? This candle right here broke an all-time high line that I obviously didn't draw because I haven't covered it, destroys it and runs. It does either this once again, destroys and runs, or comes down, and it's all because of earn. Do I have an idea? Do I have an educated guess of what it's going to do? No. If there's one thing I've learned is I don't. I have absolutely no way of believe me, I've gone into the last earnings. I've listened to it 2-3 times trying to catch different guidance clues, this and that. Dude, dudettes, my girls out there, you know I love you, right? It is hard. It is hard to guess and to anticipate earnings, because end of the day, even if you anticipate the earnings correctly, anticipating the market reaction, oh, that's its own different beast, all right? So I have no technical advice. I have no earnings advice. I, more than anything, have a warning. And what I always say is just ride the wave up or avoid the avalanche down. Overall, I'm not a fan of holding into earnings, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Believe me, even if you disagree, I love good disagreement, all right? Let's take a look at Palantir, PLTR. Look, this one scares me a bit, actually. I think Palantir is doing 2 things, all right? I put the number 2 up like you can see my hands, all right? But number 1, we had a high RSI, all right? RSI was in a crazy, crazy number, but 82 is a high RSI, all right? That was the peak of this, and it needed to come down a little bit. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think it could come down as low as 54, 52. From a 70 to a 50, that could be a scary thing. And hey, maybe we come to this 22, all right? This 22 means the resistance line, $22. I also see a stock that's mimicking NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA just slips the 8, heads to the 20. Palantir, oops. What's PL look like? Not that good. We'll ignore this. PLTR. Slips the 8, might be heading to the 20. If NVIDIA does good earnings, NVIDIA goes up and Palantir goes up. I really think this is follow the leader. I do. All right. I think, and then I didn't really even show it on the other one, but NASDAQ didn't have a beautiful day. NASDAQ actually gaps down as well. So when NASDAQ gaps down, when NVIDIA gaps down, you can only expect Palantir to kind of follow the rest. You know what I mean? And again, put it on top with a 80 plus RSI. All right. Am I here screaming scary? No, but green can be a real quick red. All right. Ideally, this 22 line does catch it. We actually might come down as low as 21. All right. I would really not worry unless we go below 21. If we go below 21, it actually might be a pretty fast fall down to this 1850. All right. But I think 21 should hold. And end of the day, I think the NVIDIA earnings tomorrow should really dictate what happens here. Obviously, they're two very, very different companies, very, very different levels of companies. But believe me, follow the leader is a very common thing in any sector. All right. So I'm not really going to flash the weekly much. I think a lot of the story here is on the daily. I'm not even really worried about this, ramping down of volume and maybe potential ramp up of bad volume. No, I'm just looking at the sector moving as a flow. All right. So, I'll flash the weekly right now. There's not much here. Yeah, there's not much here. Cool. No, I like that. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, let's take a look at BBAI. This is the last one I did want to look at. Okay, so with BBAI, I genuinely believe this was a SoundHound. Oh wow, I was wrong on SoundHound. We're pushing 4. Look at that. I said earlier it wouldn't. It so far is. Nice. Look at that. Good job. That distracted me a little bit. Let's see what it closes though. BBAI. It popped up because again, SoundHound, it's not a big AI company, right? So if SoundHound pops, hey, I think the belief becomes, hey, maybe one of these other little ones does, right? SoundHound still hasn't confirmed. And I think the same thing is very easy to say here, all right? We get over them all, can't confirm. That does not count. That was one good candle. None of those confirm. All right. So I'm looking at a stock that's probably going to be coming down to the 8 moving average around $2 unless SoundHound can go and this will follow. All right. Again, SoundHound's actually doing a little better than I expected when I started this. If we can hold 4, that's going to be an interesting thing. I'm not sure we'll catch up on the volume number, but a doji over 4 would be better than a doji under 4. I'll tell you that much, right? So with BBAI, I'll be honest with you, we were looking at this thing. Right? A couple people talked about entering. A couple people talked about it on the 15th when it popped, right? Like it was one that we considered because obviously it just tested them all. It actually got over them on the 15th. So there was eyes here. But if SoundHound can do it, so will this. If I had to guess, I think NVIDIA, again, earnings will probably touch this a little bit as well. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, I appreciate you all so much.